So I really like the song that you like played like at the Voices of Change. I really like the idea of just breathe. And I remember you gave us like some context behind it about sometimes like there really isn't much that you could do to be able to help somebody. And like all that you could really tell them to do is like just breathe. I thought that was amazing. I just wanted to start with. But is there like a common emotion that is like reflected in your music?
So when I do write my music, it's really hard for me to write something that doesn't mean something to me. You know what I mean? So it's like um, when I write my music, it has a lot to do with real problems that I go through every day, or just like something to, because music is a way for me to vent also. So it's a way for me to express myself because I'm not really good at like putting together sentences. But when I put it into music, it like helps me get it out there. And then in my mind, it's like, if this can help me get through something, then maybe it's going to help someone else too. And it's just like whenever I listen to music, whenever I'm going through something like someone else's music, there's always something that helps me get through what I'm going through. Like their music helps me with my story. And so I want my music, when other people hear it, maybe it's not really about me anymore, but I want it to be about them and then how they can apply it to their story. So it's kind of like how I write my music is to be something that's relatable.
No, that's really cool though. So like when you are first like starting to write your music, like do you normally start like with melodies? Like do you kind of just like start playing like the piano? Like do you like come up with some sounds like vocally by like humming or
So whenever I think of music, it's like I think of it as pretty much universal. So I want someone who doesn't even speak my language to like feel something from it, you know? So whenever I start, because I've been playing piano for the longest time, so I'll start with that. And it's kind of like I need to feel it in the music before I even put any words to it. It just has to mean something to me. And then once I finish that, then I just listen to it again and then think about what the music makes me feel. And so it's kind of like I can't really force it like, oh, today I'm going to write about this topic, but then I write something in the music that it doesn't feel like that. And so it has to work like 100% in order for me to actually try to convey what I'm feeling to whoever is listening. Because it's like you can tell if something doesn't mean something to you.
Right.
So that's kind of what I do.
to me, like at least like what it sounds like within like a lot of like your music, it seems like vulnerability is like a big part of it. I'm like wondering like do you see like a lot of strength and like vulnerability?
Yeah, I think so. Because it's like if someone listens to you and they feel like your guard is up, like that's fine too. But then their guard is up too, and they're not really gonna really listen. It's kind of like they'll be cautious, and it's like, can I really trust what this person is saying? But then if you try to make yourself vulnerable, and it's like, oh, I'm going through this and I'm going through that, it's hard. But I want to talk about it, and hopefully that'll help someone else. I think people, I think that's maybe something they would listen to more because it's something relatable too. Like even if it's not something that people really talk about in like commercial music and everything, I just want it to be real, and then hopefully that will reach people more. Even if it's something bad that I'm writing about, if it's real, then something you can relate to.
Yeah, and I definitely agree. And I feel like that kind of just shows like the authenticity, like in your message, like when you are just writing about like those real feelings instead of always just trying to be like as relatable. But if anything, I feel like the more real you are like in your music, like the more relatable that people are gonna be, or like the more relatable that you'll actually be like to how like they're feeling. So that's really dope.
Thank you. And then, like, kind of when I write music, I want people to actually start thinking about things, like thinking about topics and things that matter and everything, rather than I need to make money or I need this in life to make me happy and everything. But I want people to actually think, like, what is important, how you should be thinking about things just to make sure you're doing the right thing.
Like that's usually like what most great artists like are trying to do with their art, like to like provoke like some type of thoughts and like pretty much like trying to get you to think. So you're
Oh,
already well on your way. How long have you actually been making music? Because you seem like such a
thank you. Well, I've been playing piano ever since I was like 3 or something like that. And then when I first started making music, because I felt vulnerable making it, I never finished anything because it's like, no one wants to listen to
veteran
this.
at all of this.
What are they gonna think about me? And so I just started writing music kind of when I was just at my lowest points, where it's like I just need to get something out. It's gonna be for me too, but then maybe later it can help someone. And I put out like my first single like last year and everything, but then an album of mine's gonna drop this summer, and so
Okay.
uh, yeah, it was a process though.
Nice. So like from like the age of 3, like when you first started like playing like the piano, and then you said you kind of got to the point where you're like, oh, like I don't know if I like want to put this like out there. I guess like I'm wondering like when did you finally start identifying like as like an artist? Was it like once you kind of like hit like that lower point and like when you were like writing more authentically, or was it before that? Or
Um, it's weird because it's like I never really thought about me being an artist. It was just kind of like me saying something that means something to me, and then maybe if someone listens to it, they'll like it too. I never thought of myself as like, I need to be this, and this is the reason for me doing it because I want to be an artist. It's just more of like, I need to get something out there because I just want to make a difference. And then maybe after that, then I just started becoming an artist because of that. But it was never like my main reason for being it. It just kind of happened, I guess. So
no, Def. I mean, the way I see it, like when you were already like talking about being 3 and playing like the piano, I'm like, you were already like an artist then. But I just feel like with a lot of artists, they just don't claim like the name as much because they're like, I don't know, I don't really know if that's me yet. But I'm like, you've already been putting in that work since you were so young. So I'm like, girl, you're an artist. Like point blank
yeah.
period.
Yeah, I know, and I think that's good too, because it's like sometimes self-doubt, it could help you in some ways too, because it makes you want to try harder, or it's just like it makes you a person. It's like it's hard for someone to always be perfect, and it's like, oh, I'm really confident in what I'm doing, and I know everything that I'm doing is right. Like sometimes even if you're doing something that's not your normal, you're gonna self-doubt, or you're gonna doubt yourself. And so I think that's completely fine.
Yes, like this is really just like completely embracing yourself, and it's like, look, it's like I'm only as good as like I'm gonna be right now. Like, let me at least try to keep elevating and like being better. So I just really love like your whole perspective on like
Oh,
going further like with your music. So it's just really dope to hear.
thank you. That means a lot.
Yeah, I did want to ask just one more question, Janelle. So how has the coronavirus, like pandemic and this whole lockdown, how has that affected your artistry?
If anything, it just because I'm always home a lot, so it's like I can focus on music a lot and write more and everything. And it's also just kind of another thing to write about. So I don't write specifically about like specific things, because when I was saying before that I want people to apply something to their own story. And so sometimes I like to make my music vague. So if I'm writing something about, like, let's say coronavirus, I want to write about how it makes me feel. Like, what am I going to do with myself since I'm at home a lot? Maybe I leave home because it helps me feel safe or something like that. And so some people, it might cause anxiety or something like that. So then I'll write about anxiety, and then someone can apply it to their story, whether it's about corona or whether it's about something else. And so then as long as it can apply or be relatable to people, then I'll probably write about that. And so it just kind of gives me something else to write about, maybe about anxiety that someone feels about this whole situation.
I love that.
Thank you.
So is there like a lot of music that you have, I guess, that isn't like as like relatable that you've like wanted to release but like you haven't released?
Yeah, there's a ton of stuff that I doubt myself on, and it's not that I don't want to get it out there. It's just I need it to like click for me, and it's gonna help. It helps me a lot, and there's no doubt that I have that I want to share this, and then maybe I can help another person. I just want that something that I have to be something of value and quality, rather than just me creating in quantity and getting it out there. It has to mean something, and then that'll make me think like, okay, this I'm ready for it to go out.
Okay, quality over quantity.
Thank you.
Yeah, I really just love like how you emphasize like the importance of like the message like in your music and like the emotion that you want people to be able to like feel when they come across it. And it just sounds like the music is just as therapeutic to you as you want it to be for people that are like listening to it. So just snaps to you again.
Thank you. Oh, that means a lot to me.
Yes, Janelle. So do you have any questions for us?
It's more of like, I just really appreciate what you guys are doing. Because it's like, especially when reaching out to youth and everything, I think like what I was saying in the last get together or meeting that we had, it's sometimes it's hard for someone to say like I need help or something like that, or sometimes it's like I don't need help because I'm strong enough and everything, but it's it's okay. um and I think just reaching out, it's gonna mean a lot to someone else, and just putting yourself out there just to be helpful to someone, it's gonna reach a lot of people, even if they probably don't respond. Maybe like self or subconsciously, it's gonna help them. Like, oh, someone cares about me. This is pretty cool. Like they're not being forced to do it or like paid tons of money to do it, but they actually care about me, and it's they're a stranger. Then it's like it influences and it helps other people in like so many different ways. Or I just think it's super cool that you guys are doing that. So I just appreciate being a part of something like that.
Yes, thank you. Right? Like we're like lucky and blessed to have you like help us get that message out there, because everything that you just said is like aligned with what we're like hoping to achieve with this. So thank you.
Oh no, thank you. And you're welcome.
Yes. And thank you for all of the thoughtful answers that you had. I think you had a lot of insightful answers and comments to every single question that we had, because whenever you like talk more about yourself and like share your story and share your vulnerability, the more others are able to like know who you are, which is really, really powerful. And so shout out to you for being such a great participant with this virtual Voices of Change concept. All right, Janelle, well, we'll give you your Saturday back. And we'll see you again on May 22nd for Virtual Voices of Change Part 2.
Okay, sounds good. It was really good seeing you guys again. So
Yes,
I
see you
appreciate
too.
it, and I look forward to it again.
Yes. All right, Janelle. Well, take care.
Okay,
Hope you have a great rest of your day.
thank you. You too. I'll talk to you soon.
Alrighty, bye.
Okay, bye.